Fit in 10 Nation, it is day 2 of the Fit in 10 Challenge, and we're getting through a lot of the scans. I've got one more round tomorrow night, so I will have your macronutrients to you by tomorrow midday, and you can all get officially started. Remember, this challenge is, well, it did start on Saturday, but we do have a number of flex days, right? Because your scans will not start until Monday of the 11th week of the challenge, basically when the challenge is over. So we've got some flex days there, okay? Now, hopefully a lot of you are, working on getting a serving of protein, carbohydrates, and fats every single meal, right? So you're looking at that quick guide that I gave you. You're going to the end of it and not even worrying about portion size right now, but getting a good amount of one of those strong protein sources, one of those strong fat sources, and one of those strong carbohydrate sources. Okay, that's what I want you to do at this point. And if you can do 4 meals like that, you should be at a good starting point, okay? Just get used to doing that every single meal. Now, in the meeting yesterday, I talked about this, which I will send this out to you guys. It's another example of a diet. You guys saw this in the meeting, for those of you who were there. But there's another one in your quick guide. But this one here, we broke down the macros, right? But we didn't do an even split through every meal. And that is one easy way to do things, okay? So that is, if you're gonna eat, say, 4 meals a day, and I'm gonna, let's say, let's use this example, okay? 168 grams of protein, 163 grams of carbs, and 73 grams of fat. You'd basically divide each of those numbers by 4, okay? So that would look like 42 grams of protein per meal, 41 grams of carbohydrates per meal, and 18 grams of fat. Okay, and that's what you would try to fulfill each and every meal. All right, so again, look at your quick guide. Look at that example in there. I believe it's a 1,700 calorie diet, and that should give you an idea of kind of how to structure things, right? So break things down, go to the end of that quick guide, look at the food sources, and then start to build some meals. Okay? Yes, you can add some condiments. Yes, you can add some seasoning. And you can certainly use butter. Okay, you can use butter as a fat source. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, in fact, I'm going to encourage you to use saturated fats for as your cooking oils, just because they're that much more stable. Okay, they're less prone to oxidation. Okay, all right. I want to organize a shop with you guys at Costco. Okay, so I'm going to send out a message to you guys here shortly in the next few days on Slack, and we're going to organize a time or two where we go for a shop at Costco. All right, so I want to show you guys how to pick and choose, and you guys can ask me questions. We've done this once before in our previous challenge, and just so you're aware, the shop was about 2.5 hours because there were lots of questions, and it could have been longer. There was lots that I could have covered that I didn't. So we do want to pretty much set aside a morning. If we do this on a weekend, which I think we probably should, we're gonna set out to be there right when Costco opens, so we can avoid at least some of the craziness. Okay. Tomorrow, I don't know if I already mentioned this already, but tomorrow we have a class, right? 7 p.m. You don't have to be there, by the way. Sorry, you do have to be there, but if you are an existing member, you've been doing our classes for a while, or you're doing our regular classes, it's not mandatory that you have to be there, okay? If you're not, then you've got to come to this class tomorrow night, okay? Tomorrow night at 7 p.m., okay? That's Monday night, 7 p.m. What else do I want to say here? Well, there's a lot that I want to say, okay? I don't want to make this video too much longer, so let me say this. Your food sources should either come from the ground or from an animal if you eat animal. Okay, so from the ground, from an animal, or from a tree or bush. Okay, it's really that simple. And the reason for this is those natural-based foods, it's not so much that they're natural that makes them good. There's lots of natural things that aren't good for us. And there are some processed things that are fine for us, okay? So it's not that, that's not the sort of the end-all be-all thing. But typically speaking, with natural-based foods, they're going to be more voluminous, they're going to be less calorie dense, they're going to be more nutrient dense, okay? And they're going to be, for the most part, higher in fiber, okay? Meat aside, obviously, okay? So we want to think about things like micronutrients, and I'll talk about these as the challenge goes on. Micronutrients and polyphenols and phytonutrients, and we'll throw fiber in there as well. Fiber is actually a carbohydrate, but we're going to throw fiber in there because it is typically found in these foods, and of course antioxidants. Okay. All right. So I'm at 6 minutes here. I don't want to make these videos too long for you guys. All right. So just go to your quick guide. Look at the end. Look at those protein strong, fat strong, and carbohydrate strong foods. Try to build some meals. Get used to that. If you're not sure about a food that you want to eat, you can always ask me, or you can just Google it, okay? Or put it in your app and see where it falls. All right? Just a reminder, nuts are not sources of protein and beans are not sources of protein, okay? Yes, they have protein in them, but they are not protein-strong foods, okay? Just because this is something that gets repeatedly, people often get confused by, okay? Message of the day. You've got to plan, prepare, and execute. You have to plan, prepare, and execute, right? Plan, prepare, and execute. So what does that mean? Let's batch cook some food or else it won't happen, okay? You got to start preparing these meals. So batch cook some different meats or fish, okay? Or hard-boiled eggs or whatever, okay? When it comes to carbohydrates, make some rice. Make some, tubers, some yams, some potatoes. You can have pasta in your diet, okay? Pre-make some meals, some specific meals, all right? I think yesterday we had some examples, like a chicken sandwich. Make a chicken sandwich for tomorrow or whatever, okay? And try to, if you're gonna, make these meals, well, you should be making these meals, obviously. You might as well try to just start putting them into your app and see how things work out, just so you get a feel for things, okay? All right, so start planning and preparing. And that's going to help you. You cannot wing this, okay? Do not, and I know a lot of you are going to start to try to do this, do not leave the house, tomorrow morning, empty-handed, and be like, well, I'll just kind of eat whatever, and then I'll throw up my app at the nighttime, and I'll see where things kind of reside, okay? You don't have your numbers yet, so you may have that excuse, but I'm not going to let you have that excuse. Start to plan, okay? Plan, prepare, and execute. That's how you're going to be successful. Our winner last challenge, in the words of Kenneth, who's doing this challenge, by the way, I asked him, what did he do? He said, I just followed your plan to a T. That's all he did. He didn't add anything else in. He didn't remove anything. He just followed the plan to a T, okay? So that's what you need to do. Follow it to a T, okay? That's how you get success. All right? So there's lots more I'm going to talk about, you guys. I will shoot you another video tomorrow, and I'll see a lot of you, or most of you, tomorrow night at 7. Hey, listen. Even if you're coming to our regular classes, you can still come tomorrow night, okay? It's just not mandatory for you. All right? But if you're not coming to our regular classes, you got to be there tomorrow night at 7 p.m., okay? All right, you guys. Plan, prepare, execute, submit, commit, do what you got to do. And I will talk to y'all soon. See you guys. Let's see if this thing works on first click.